Hey, this is a screencast on Bayes' rule, and it's basically going to be me working one big example about applying Bayes' rule to understanding the COVID-19 testing. The screencast will be broken into two parts. The first part will be working through the computation of a conditional probability, and the second part is going to be working through what's called a sensitivity analysis. So, for the purposes of this presentation, we want to use Bayes' rule to understand how to interpret the results of a test for SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. So we're going to define two events. The event D is the event that a subject has the virus, so a person who's being tested has the virus. And the event R is the event that the test that's given reports the subject has the virus. And we want to use available data that's out there in the world to estimate the probability that a subject has the virus if the COVID test is positive. So that's a conditional probability. What's the probability that the subject actually has the virus if their test comes back positive? When testing for the presence or absence of something, we say the test is binary if it has two outcomes, a positive result and a negative result. A COVID test is an example of a binary test. The test either detects the virus and returns a positive result, or fails to detect the virus and returns a negative result. A binary test can have two types of errors, and these are a general classification that we'll talk about a lot this semester. A type 1 error. A binary test makes a type 1 error when it reports a false positive. So that's what to remember. A type 1 error is a false positive. That means the test incorrectly reports that its target is present when it is absent. So in the case of a COVID test would make a type 1 error if it incorrectly reports that a person has the virus when they don't really have the virus. So here's that in a conditional probability. The probability that the test is positive when the person being tested doesn't have the virus. A type 2 error is an error that a test makes when it reports a false negative. Right? That means the test incorrectly reports that its target is absent when in fact it is present. So in terms of conditional probability, that's this. It's the probability that the test says test is negative when in actual fact, or given that the subject actually does have the virus. Okay, so type 1 error is this conditional probability, and type 2 error is this conditional probability. And generally, binary tests, these conditional probabilities are non-zero. All right, Bayes' rule. We want to compute this probability, the probability that a subject has the virus if the test they get back is positive. Now, in the real world, the way people think about this is if my test comes back positive, I'm 100% certain to have the virus. But in actual fact, that's never the case. This conditional probability here is generally less than 1, between 0 and 1, but never equal to 1. People that are educated in probability will understand that, but it's not something the general population understands. So Bayes' rule, I'm going to apply Bayes' rule to this conditional probability and rewrite this conditional probability. And in the denominator, I'm partitioning my sample space into the set of those people who have the virus and those people don't have the virus. Okay, so this is the way I'm going to deploy Bayes' rule for this example. So I've colored blue the terms of the Bayes expansion that involve PD, which is the probability or the chance that a person has the disease. Okay, so we have here the probability the person has the disease, and here's the probability that they don't have the disease. Okay, and the probability they don't have the disease is 1 minus the probability they have the disease. That's why I'm grouping these three together. So a way to think about that is this is the probability that a person selected at random from the population has the virus. So that's PD. So another term in here is this conditional probability, the probability of R given D. This is the probability that the test correctly reports the presence of the virus. Right? So it's the probability that the test is positive given the person has the virus. So this is related to type 2 error in the following way. The probability that the test is positive given you have the virus is going to be 1 minus the probability the test is negative given you have the virus. So if everybody who has the virus, that space can be partitioned into those who test positive and those who test negative because our test is binary. All right, so this first term down here is related to type 2 error. So this last remaining term we haven't talked about, this is the probability that the test incorrectly reports the presence of the virus. And this is the chance that the test has a type 1 error. Okay, we've seen that already. All right, so I'll just say it's not going to be germane to what we're going to do going forward, but it's a good thing to remember that in this Bayes rule formulation for a binary test, our denominator down here has a term for type 2 error and a term for type 1 error. So they play a role in computing this conditional probability. So let's find a number for this probability of D, the probability that somebody has a virus. So nobody knows how many people are infected with the virus that causes COVID-19, but there have been many studies done on what's called the seroprevalence of the virus. And seroprevalence is a measure of how common it is for people to have been infected by the virus. If you've been watching the news, you'll have a sense that different parts of the country have different levels of virus presence. Geographically, it ranges from 1% in some very rural states to 20% in some states that have been affected deeply by the virus. So for the purpose of this example, let's make a conservative assumption. If seroprevalence goes from 1% to 20%, let's assume that our seroprevalence is going to be 2%. That means that if we choose 1,000 people at random from our population, whatever that is, let's assume that 20 are going to have the virus. So we've got a 2% probability that a person has the virus. And when I talk about sensitivity analysis, we'll see what happens if I change that number. But for now, let's assume it's 2%. That's pretty conservative. All right, we need to choose the other probabilities that are in our formula for Bayes' rule. So let's talk about this term, the type 1 error term that we saw in the denominator. As we choose that, I want to point out something to you. The Federal Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, requires manufacturers of medical equipment to put their products through rigorous testing before permitting them to make that stuff available to the public. And the results of these tests must be made public. So this is relevant to the conversations about a COVID vaccine, but that's not what we're talking about. The next slide shows a performance report on one particular COVID-19 test called the BD Veritor system. Okay, BD is a company, and they have a system for detecting the virus that's called their Veritor system. I want to note that this report compares this BD's system to the results of an RNA-based test, a method that is slow but highly accurate. And when done in controlled, ideal conditions, the result of an RNA-based test can be thought of as perfect. All right, so let's look at that report. So this is a screenshot of a table in documentation that BD provides with the Veritor system to show the study that it did to test how well it does and what its type 1 and type 2 errors are. You can see over here in this column, we list the results of the Veritor system. The Veritor test is a binary test, so it has a positive result and a negative result. Here, we see reference PCR results. PCR stands for polymerase chain reaction, which is a tool used in RNA-based tests. So over here, this is like the truth. This is like what was really happening, okay? So you can see an RNA-based test is also a binary test, so we've got positive results and negative results. We're supposed to think of the PCR results as truth. Read this table. The BD test agreed with the PCR test, so they were both positive 26 out of 31 times, and they were both negative 195% out of 195 out of 195 times. So perfect agreement on the negative tests. But here it shows that the BD Verita results differed from the PCR results. Okay, it reported 5 tests as negative when the PCR results said they were positive. Okay, so that would be a false negative result. Okay, so that's a type 2 error. So this is how a company would report this to the population, report this to everybody who would potentially use the tool. Okay, and then there's a bunch of nice acronyms down here, and you can look at those on your own time. So for our problem, let's assume that our test is highly accurate and it's RNA based, so it's like that PCR test. The literature suggests that when done in perfect conditions, an RNA-based test has a false positive rate that's close to 0 and a false negative rate of 2 to 37%. So with this in mind, let's assume that our false positive rate is 0.5%. Okay, we'll just keep, there is often human error, and so let's just make that a non-zero number. And let's assume here that our false negative rate is 2%. So we're going to be conservative again. We're going to be down here on the bottom end of the spectrum. And this is a typo. That should be a C. So noting that we have this standard property of probabilities, we can use Bayes' rule, plug in our numbers, compute, and we get 80%. We get a 0.8 probability. So the probability that, under the conditions we just talked about, the probability that if a person gets a test back and that they have the disease is 80%. Not 100%. The difference between 80% and 100% is pretty big. So our assumptions were conservative. We tried to choose the best possible scenarios. And you can see here that it's not nearly a perfect result. That is, there's still a chance that if you get a positive test back, you don't have the disease. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you about using Bayes' rule to interpret the results of a positive COVID test. The next screencast is going to talk about sensitivity analysis. What happens if we look back at the numbers that we chose and said, well, what if we chose a number that was a little bit bigger? What if we chose a number that was a little bit smaller? But that's the next screencast. Thanks for watching.